Now the last thing for you to do is to force it to take the desired flourishes. You need to make sure that it is the way you wish it to look. Once it is finally settled on this shape, you cannot change it. Very good. So now you have your blade, though it is without a name, which should be the next thing that we take care of. Though not today.
That's all right.
The big
That's
thing you
all
need to do is to make sure to take care of it. You need to make sure you oil it, clean it, make sure it has a proper scabbard. You know, all the things we typically do with a blade.
Understood. That's not it.
The naming ceremony is a bit complicated. Typically, this is done based on the
Oh.
typically it's based on the culture you come from and other factors, but unfortunately you lack a great deal of those. There is the standard Valador naming ceremony conducted on the behest and desires of the military. Though, if I'm honest, it's a bit dull. It is not. It works, but it's shit.
Do you have a suggestion?
I've been thinking on it, but the problem is you said you're not spiritual, which is to take on the other opportunity or chance or option. I've been thinking about it though.
Alright. There's no need to rush it.
Other sort of is beyond you is Ron, so I have a lot of work in front of me. I need to sort of make sure I keep things moving along. But you'll need to think of a name, and I would recommend doing so in your free time. Something that matters to you. Again, the purpose of a naming ceremony is, as the little rabbit girl has told us before, names are very important. I know this much before I even spoke with her. Names hold power. As I'm sure the Arkansire who's standing behind you knows, she witnessed my naming ceremony. If there is a response or certain powers which you beseech, there can often be a very strong response. I would not recommend trying to carve the name yourself into the weapon. You might break it. And I tell you, repairing a Baneforge weapon is probably the most frustrating thing to do. I do not like to, because it requires me to harvest more of your blood, make more of open Baneforge for a single night, so I can repair what damage you do.
I will be careful.
They are very resilient, very durable, as one thing does, as it is ability to change shape. So just be careful. Just be aware. It has its limits, but it's very durable. I have tried to break mine. It's very difficult. Though mine is less of a toothpick, no offense.
Toothpick, yes.
Yes, your little toothpick. Though the other option, just so you are aware, if you desire it, there are spirits of my culture that you can beseech for a blessing for the naming, which will require you to have an offering to present to them. But you said you are not spiritual, so I'm not sure how much of a beseeching to them would actually benefit you, or you would mean something to you.
Oh. Just because I don't practice any particular religion doesn't mean that I don't believe in the spiritual.
Well, when I asked you if you are spiritual or religious, you said no.
Well, it's because I'm not, but...
We'll give it a day or so. I I'll be a bit busy working on some paperwork tomorrow evening until very late. So, you have at least until leave me a notice or something to let me know what your decision is on what sort of if you wish to be Citrus Spirits or not. Otherwise, I do sort of a loose backup plan, though it is less is more along the lines of a valid or traditional naming ceremony, which is very
Shit. You did say shit.
it's just not very personal. The military wanted something more streamlined, more. The blade wielder does not name it, so the blacksmith names it, and it becomes less personal. It's just not as. I personally believe that it makes the spirits inside the weapon weaker, more likely to be taken over by the Draugr.
Oh, I'll think on it and let you know.
Very good. Hello, Arkansas.
Hello. Are you concluded here? Am I intruding?
No, no intrusion at all.
I was going to check the rookery today and found out this rolled up map and this.
Yes. The dramatic man found a camp of our enemy near his home, and in it found some old banners and a scroll, which I presume you have in your hand right there.
Yes, I severed the magical rope that was tying it shut. It's a map. It marks this keep here, and then it's gridded like the standard maps that everyone seems to have here. This is marking. There's a second marking on 1, 2, H2.
That is where he said that he found that camp. So yes.
So whoever was in this camp had a map that clearly had our keep marked.
Sounds about right.
He was very keen on going in there and taking out all of the undead, not undead things that he said were there.
Did you inform him that that is not his concern?
Yeah, do you think he listened to that? He did not. He demanded loudly that they were on his doorstep and he was going to handle it if he had to. And we did tell him that we would take care of it, but...
We
He
do.
meddles-
We
he meddles
gently
in
and
his-
aggressively. Sorry. Go ahead.
I said he's meddling in things he has no business meddling in.
I do not believe there's any disagreement there.
Mm-mm.
We
He's...
tried to inform him, though he seems very intent in his own ways, in his own mentality. So if he dies, it's not on us anymore.
Agreed. Well, if they have our banners, that means that they might have information about, or they might have some of our people hostage.
Well, if they do, we know where they might be now.
I do not believe there's enough of a force about this evening to do anything about that,
No, I
unfortunately.
don't believe there is either, but I will take the map and put it on the board up in the rookery.
That does bring up, I'm sure you read the board in the rookery, but there was a altercation yesterday.
I went in to read the board and then saw this and completely got distracted, so I did not read the board.
Good.
Okay.
You know their names. I care so little that I don't even bother to learn their names. I just know the veiled one, the blood one, and then the butterfly one. That's all I fucking know.
So, you know the meeting that you went to the other day at Haliki? It was regarding the omens and the Creed of Restoration, which seeks to sever this plane from the rest of reality, which will
Yes.
be very, very, very bad. And there are 4 omens that have a human form. And these 4 omens are basically the ones attempting to do the severing. They need all 4 of them to do it. And if one falls, they're just replaced. So we have to kill them all. Anyway,
I heard them speaking of obviously the butterfly one.
Yes.
That sent the butterflies here.
Mhm.
And then there's the one that's tied to the mirrors. or
Yes.
something.
there's the Blood
I
Rain.
did not.
Sorry.
I had not heard the other 2. No, that's what my question was. is
Okay.
I only knew of the 2, the mirror one and the butterfly one.
Right. So there is the Blood Rain, who is the scientist that I saw dismantling whatever the harpy had been before she was the harpy. And then,
Oh.
yes, and then there's the Evil Eye. She wasn't there last night, and I had told the lore keeper that I had not seen any sign of her yet. The lore keeper said that we just didn't realize it. Which I was afraid of and don't like, but that's what it is. And then the other 2, yes, the Dark Butterfly and the Shattered Mirror. The Shattered Mirror said something last night that she sees everyone who looks into her mirrors. So I have been trying to warn people not to look into Shattered Mirrors anymore because she will see them. I know that Siobhan already has, but I don't know if anybody else here has. And then, of course, the Dark Butterfly has a network of the butterflies that basically pass on everything they hear back to her.
That's the reason they moved the common message board into the Sector Naliki, so keep the butterflies from reading the mail or something.
Correct. The 3 of them, minus the Evil Eye, who is apparently some great military leader, essentially, is what it boiled down to. They met us. You know, now that I think about it, Ascalon, I think maybe they did something to that elk that we fought to sort of get our attention and keep us there for a minute. We found this absolutely massive elk in a clearing, and we took it down, and then the 3 of them appeared on a cliff above us, wanting to know who had killed their harpy, that the scientist was very put out by whomever had killed his harpy. And we, of course it wasn't us. We got a little bit of information out of them. What, you don't think they did that there to get our attention? I mean, that just kind of
No.
seemed like a...
No.
I have never seen that thing.
Well, no one has ever seen a bush full of hogs, but we have.
Yeah, that's what we were looking for. We were looking for the hog bush, and got...
I mean, if they wanted to keep our attention for longer, they would just use that large thing behind the elk.
I suppose that's true.
No,
It was just a strange coincidence.
I just think it's a coincidence. I just think it's a really fucking big elk.
I've never seen a big elk like that. Okay, I'm sorry. Anyway, we got a little bit of information out of them, such as the mirror telling us about how she sees everyone who looks into it, getting the identity of the Blood Rain, and then they summoned a bunch of nasty things and said that they were looking for new pets, essentially, I think, replacements for the harpy. And then they left. We went to the Selûnites to try to warn them about it, and they in fact showed up at the respite and attacked us there. It was a difficult fight. The 3 of them are extremely powerful, and they have powerful servants, and as far as we are aware, they had not gotten their hands on anybody they thought they had, but that ended up not being the case. So, as it stands now, I don't know what to do from this point.
Not to be arrogant, but to be quite honest with you, their minions are more concerning than they are in open combat, which is a factor to consider. But we would have been fine were it not for the Moonrocks deciding they wanted to cross the bridge and continue fighting them, despite us having obviously forced them into retreat. We all would have been fine, instead of broken ribs like I had.
Hey, me too.
Slight bruising.
I had a broken arm. But what he said, I mean, I never really faced any of them one-on-one because I was too busy getting stomped by the punchy things.
Oh dear. So, were they after the Selûnites, or were they just following you?
It's hard to say. I know that they were
well,
looking for. They were
I
looking.
don't think they were following us. I'm going to be honest. I don't think they were following us. I think they were looking for very specific people.
I know Bloodrain was in particular calling out to. What is her name? Navaria? Something like that?
He wanted a winged one, and I don't know, some person who doesn't matter to me at all.
He wanted one of the Selûnites. I think she may have been the one to destroy the harpy.
That's not
No.
true.
Griff.
It's
Griff.
not.
Griff
Oh,
killed the
Griff
harpy.
killed the harpy. Okay.
Yes.
They
killed
dissected.
his bear.
Some of them
They-
dissected the harpy. So
Oh, that's right. Kamari did mention that she and at the meeting, she and one of hers did what they're calling an auto.
they
Autopsy,
dissected it.
yeah.
They
Autopsy.
They cut it open and they looked in its inside.
Yes.
Well,
yes. There we go.
Okay.
She said that two of hers did that.
Well,
Um,
then she touched something because that's what he was put out about. One of the other things that he was put out about was that somebody touched something that they shouldn't have.
I mean, that really summarizes the entire interaction with them to begin with, is that we were touched, or people touched things, and they were upset about it. Like children, they're upset that people touch their toys. And it's a bit reductive of them as people, but I'm just putting it out there. They behave like children that are whining that people touched my toys, and so I'm going to go hurt them. Wah.
Well, yes, but if, for example, you were half mad and making, let's say, sentient weapons, someone was taking great effort to destroy them, wouldn't you be upset?
If I had as many sentient weapons as he had, no, I wouldn't give a fuck if one died.
He does have a great many. There were so many.
We slew somewhat upwards towards 100 or more of his little sentient weapons.
And there
So
were
if being upset over one dying feels like a child play.
Well-
Just a child throwing a tantrum.
he seemed fond of her in particular. When I saw what I did in her blood, he was touching her face, he was crooning at her, she was going to help fix the world,
fucking
etc. See, I understand that, but there were also thousands of others of those things in that room, so who knows how many they have to throw at us.
I understand calling them children is probably not the greatest, idea. I wouldn't call them to the face, as much as I tried to get Phoenix to not argue with them.
I was not the one lipping. I was not.
You were definitely lipping. You were calling them by the names. I feel like there sometimes you could take a lesson out of my book, where sometimes
Stella was directly
One's not
challenging them.
yeah, Stella is also a hothead, and I expect you to keep a little bit more calm. Your idea is to protect people.
I understand that, but I needed information, and I figured they were arrogant enough to give it, and they did.
I don't wish to speak for the Arkansas of the Warden, but I would like to reiterate our primary goal is not whatever the fuck is happening with these people.
I understand that, but if they achieve their goal, we're dead.
Great, there are a lot of other factors and factions working on that, so I don't think it's our primary
Yeah.
focus.
In this mission, not only are we dead, but everyone we care about. Kingdom died.
I understand.
way-
So I don't.
our lives in peril.
I don't
Either
disagree
way,
with you,
yes.
Phoenix. I understand. I'm on your side with that. I understand. I'm communicating to you that I understand that if they achieve what they want, but also, does it have to be us to antagonize and get information? No. We have a separate primary goal. Aiding with this, I think, should be a priority if we are able to manage it. We uphold our oath, but we also make sure that we don't stray from the idea and the realization that our primary objective is to return the peace of the ages. We are all out of armor yesterday, and I'm not trying to chastise you, but I need you to understand the perspective that why I was barking at you, not literally, metaphorically. I don't bark. But the reason I was chastising you, and I'm doing so now, is because we're all out of armor. Every single one of us, we were just out trying to have a little bit of fun, a little bit of laughs. And we were faced with an unknown threat of a considerable room for error, if that makes sense.
It
We did
doesn't.
not fully know what they were capable of, and it was better to be neutral than antagonistic.
I get that, and I got that one piece of information, and then I shut up. And I understand. I do. I just, if they were going to squash us, they would have done it immediately. They were toying with us just as much as, you know, we were talking to them.
Because they think they are the predator. They think they are the cat prowling the jungle, which, to be quite honest with you, for the most part, they are. They are the big cat prowling the jungle, hunting for their prey. And that much should have been apparent to all of us.
But I still wasn't the one taunting them.
You were one of them. You're one of the three. And trust me, if I have an opportunity, I will say some things to the others. Just because I want to make sure that we're all on the same page, that when we're out of armor, it's probably not best to provoke our enemy. Potential enemy. We got very lucky with how injured we all were yesterday. It could have been a lot worse for us. Considering the fact that not only did we engage with whatever small forces they summoned within the wood, then we had the extended large engagement on the beach. We are very lucky that things didn't turn out worse for us.
Yeah.
I feel insane being the voice of reason in this moment.
It's all right.
Considering I'm the one that loses myself to my rage more than anyone else. But I typically don't shout in the face of things I don't know what their power is, and if they could easily knock me on my ass.
I do think, it's the last thing I'm going to say on it, I do think that regardless of what we said, they were going to do exactly what they did.
True, but I'd rather not paint a larger target on Valador.
Strangely enough, I don't think we're their target at all. I think that they just got lucky and found us. They were after Saloon's Respite and probably Griff.
Where were you hunting yesterday? Where was this elk?
Vaguely east.
We were very near Saloon's Respite by that point.
Maybe slightly northwest of that ruined city to the east of us. No one could remember where the pigs were. Pig bush, so we were just kind of running around. Again, most of us were just trying to get out of the keep, stretch our legs, have a laugh, have some jokes, have a little bit of fun.
Is that
but
near
just
the cave?
Mm.
sort of.
Yes, it was near that cave, yes.
We did stop and look at the cave.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a chance they were coming or going to the cave or something?
Possibly.
Potentially. We looked at the door, it wasn't anything different than the last time we saw it. At least the last time I saw it.
Just like a door to me. If that door wasn't there, that'd be a really nice cave to live in, though.
Here we go. The door
Same.
has carvings of the 5 heroes, the mage that they were fighting, and then images of all of the saga stones, and the ones that had been apparently located were lit up. But I didn't stop to see if that number had changed. I think it was 7 last time.
Yeah, we're sort of just on a mission to get, because
We just wanted
we're
pigs.
talking about how fish made my stomach upset, and it's all Oswald had.
Oh, and then we got going about Ascalon's delicate constitution and how he can't eat a single pastry or else he will get round.
That's how you get fat, eating pastries.
But you're not going to get fat from a single pastry.
It's all about building habits, and you let one slip, and it's all over.
And if you don't have any fun in life, what's the point?
I feel fair, I guess. I mean, I've lived most of my life not having fun, so what's the point serving my country?
Stop. You know what I
That's
mean.
what
You can
I've
have
done for over 100 years
You
now,
can
Phoenix.
s- you
I've
can-
done nothing but serve Valador.
you can serve your country and have a pastry.
That's how you get fat.
My mother used to say, once across the lips, forever on the hips.
It's not true.
Maybe that's why Ares is so.
We're not.
Robust
No,
in
we're not
particular
talking
area.
about Eris's backside again. We're not doing that.
It's not just her backside. Her dress is also very well.
Oh my
extended.
goodness!
She knows it too. You can tell by the way she dresses. She fucking knows.
Stop it!
With all due respect, she does enter every doorway. What's a nice way to say this?
Oh my goodness!
Let's just the upper quadrant of her body enters every room first.
Oh.
It's not a bad thing. It's
She
just-
grabs everyone's attention the moment she walks in the room.
Yes.
Anyway.
There's a reason why we sent her for our initial diplomatic meetings.
Oh my gosh.
Most eyes.
Anyway.
There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, apparently the Arkansas likes to fawn over the shirtless, sweaty men at the Aldo, so it's,
I would not say fawn.
appreciate.
There you go. Appreciate is a good word.
Discreetly objectify.
Okay. Whoa.
I can tell you it's often not very discreet. Most of the men know that when guests come in, that they are slightly putting on a show.
Wait, are you saying they're shy?
The men know they're very brazen.
Then why are they putting on shirts?
No, they're putting on a show.
Oh, show! I thought you said shirt. I was very confused.
Putting a little extra grunt, you know, when
Right.
you swing the hammer. Making sure their muscles are flexed a little bit more than you.
Extra oil.
Extra
Oil.
oil.
Wait, you can't possibly.
Make sure the hair is slick with water. That does remind me. Phoenix learned what spear roasting was yesterday.
I'm sorry, what?
She learned what spit roasting was yesterday. Apparently did not know what it meant.
Do you mean like cooking? Or...
Like the adult activity.
Am I about to not be the only one who didn't know what this was? Because I would be greatly relieved if I was not the only one who did not know this was.
She said that Stella, you and her spit roast me.
I meant when we set him on fire to test to test the roots.
Yeah, the more you learn, the more you know.
I don't think I needed to know that.
I think if you are going to pursue relationships with people, you need to know the terminology that you're using.
But Is that
Friendship
a
or romantic?
well,
You need
is
to know
that
the terms you're using?
is that one that you use in casual conversation?
Spit roasting? Depends. I mean, you grow up underground with a group of very vulgar men and women. People really aren't that casual. They're pretty casual about how they talk about their sex lives. At any given day, I'd know who's fucking who.
Speaking of which, I'm gonna go see if I can find Stella and Valen.
Very well. I do have something I need to discuss with you about a fairly insane idea that I have. But
Alright. I just wanted to see if I can find anyone shown from this map, and I had sort of hoped that Siobhan might be around today to send out a scout or two, but...
I don't think she's gonna be awake.
all right, congratulations. You deserve a naming ceremony to do, which that will actually be the part that can hurt you.
Are you actually being serious this time, or are you again just making me think it's gonna be worse than it is?
Yeah, I had hundreds of tiny cuts across my entire body.
Another meowing.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I was distracted.
I had hundreds of tiny cuts across my body.
What did you name it poorly and it decided to eat you?
No, a small, what was the best way to do it? A blizzard, a snowstorm, a very intense winter storm occurred in a very localized area around the altar. And that was a sign that the spirits were there with me, and I was being embraced by the North.
Right, so prepare for potentially cold, sharp hugs.
Well, it depends on, if you decide to go the spiritual method. The Valador method really is very minimal pain. It's just really, I just think it's used by men who have flaccid dicks. That's a nice vulgar way to put it.
Oh my
They're men who don't give a shit about their blade or the maintenance of the weapon. Or women, they might have flaccid dicks as well. I don't judge.
I love how flaccid has become an everyday term for us.
I don't remember using it yesterday, but
No, the Arkansire used it. Anyway.
so yes, depending on the route that you take, it can be immensely painful. It can be immensely rewarding. It can be boring.
I don't want boring. I think that I will probably do it your way.
Well, in that case, you need to prepare an offering, and also which of the spirits you'll attempt to besiege.
Do you... Okay, this is gonna sound dumb. Do you have somewhere that I can research this?
My people do only oral tradition, so no.
Alright. When you
I
have
can sort of tell you vaguely the loose guidelines, I suppose.
Alright, are there any that you think would be more aligned with myself that you can think of?
Do you want like pure defense?
No. Do you have anything like that?
Fire? We don't really have a spirit of fire directly. We have a spirit of the sun.
Oh, that might do.
I wouldn't call them a phoenix, but they are a firebird.
Oh, perfect.
We would refer to them as a fire eagle. They don't really like reincarnate. They just, when they die, they die. It's sort of how the spirits work.
All right. So, what would be an appropriate offering for said fire eagle?
Typically, they prefer things associated with the night, as strange as that is. Because they do not get to see the nighttime. Typically, our people would offer Nyx bloom, we'd offer moonstones, any sort of flower that only blossoms at night. But it needs to typically be done or made or produced by your hands. And it's a very short time frame, I guess, to do anything like that.
I could.
But the more you have influence over how it was made or grown, the more likely it is to be accepted by the spirits. Why do you laugh?
I was just thinking about mooncakes.
No, I don't think they would. I don't think that.
No, I know.
I mean, they might, but I doubt it, especially because it's not made by you.
Well, I could make a mooncake. I'm just saying, but it's just kind of a bit of a tongue-in-cheek joke, just because our lives seem to revolve around mooncakes.
Nyx bloom's not a terrible option, though I don't know if I have a great amount of it to spare.
Well, I would want to go find my own. Yes.
Well, Nyx bloom is not a naturally. I mean, I've at least I've not seen it anywhere in this land. It is. For the lack of better terms, the Order went to great lengths to ensure that no one outside of us had it.
Ah.
It is a wonderful ingredient for alchemical joining of things, especially in a magical term. So it is used often for the binding of the blood with the sanguinite, as well as the initial creation of sanguinite. The Nyx bloom is used in it. It allows the magic itself to be intertwined intimately with whatever material. But it is a very dangerous plant. A single prick from a thorn of the Nyx bloom can cause a grown man of my size to become paralyzed.
No, I think I'm gonna go around and try to find things like Evening Primrose or Angel's Trumpet or something like that.
I mean, I know some shamans who even offer poetry to the god. Sorry.
I'm not a
We
poet.
refer to them as primal gods. That's how we often call them. Gods of the land, wild gods, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
The translations are rough between giant to Aurelian to common. But you get the general idea.
I do, and the terminology isn't really important. It's the intent.
It's also making sure you don't piss them off, because that's really bad.
I have an idea. I'm gonna need.
Also be prepared to swing a hammer.
Oh.
Mm.
Well, that's something you could have warned me about months ago.
Well, there's no real preparation for that.
I mean, there is if I can't pick up a hammer.
You can pick up a hammer, it's not that hard.
Well, I'm imagining your hammers, and they're generally fairly large.
I mean, for somebody your size, sure. Suppose I could do it for you. I guess I don't have to make you do it yourself. That's fine. Never mind then.
I think that
Probably actually best I do it. I do the actual making the rune part myself rather than having you do it. But the actual conversation, I don't. Oh, do you think you're confident you cannot fuck up the name rune? Do you even know what a name rune looks like?
No, but you could show me.
Well, the name rune specific to your weapon is granted to you whenever you beseech the spirits. So that will just happen. You'll just get that in your mind.
All right. So if it's in my mind, there's no reason that I can't. Well, I mean, okay. So
All right,
if
well then you have to swing a hammer a bunch of times then.
okay, and I'm not adverse to swinging a hammer. I'm just making the joke that if I can't lift it, well then we're in trouble. But how were you gonna do it anyway if it's in my mind? I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, you'd have to draw the name rune. That's simply how it
Exactly.
goes.
So I'm gonna have to do that anyway.
All right,
Did
whatever.
ever meet with the Tideborn? Apparently, they sent 2 letters and a note on the outside born.
No. I don't think we ever heard back from them about anything. We visited, Eris and I did go and visit with them, about whatever the fuck it was, and the person that was there didn't know what the fuck was going on, so we just left.
But as we are lacking in things to do, if I can rouse Stella and Valen, do we want to go back over there? Do we want to wait for Eris?
It's your decision, Arkansas.
They made it seem incredibly urgent, so I feel like we should at least make an effort.
There's still a conversation about my batshit crazy idea.
Is it something that you wish to discuss out here at the forge, or?
Sure. I mean, it's better than walking all the way up to the altar.
Do you
Plus,
want me
I
to?
might require Phoenix's assistance with
Oh.
it, so.
All right then.
So, the true test for the pylon went not to my desire. I thought it would have more oomph to it.
I mean, I would
but,
call it successful.
it's successful, but not to my desire. Not for what I had hoped it would do. Especially for the fact that I had to push it so far as to begin bleeding out of my ear. I would rather find a better solution. One of the ideas that I had was... I hate saying it out loud because it makes me feel like I'm becoming the flavor of the dramatic man. Whatever it is the enemy created with that mechanical orb gave me the idea if we're able to replicate portions of that enchantment. I have no desire for it to infest bodies or be made of necromancy or things like that, or have a soul housed in it. Rather, I see an immense amount of value for not only just this creation of a pylon, but the creation of a long-term tool for artificers, blacksmiths, and mages alike, if it is successful. To create something that can essentially function similarly, but use different materials. And what do I mean by that? So the main properties that I saw when observing this strange sphere, and my understanding based on what Eris said, is that the body of that knight was formed around something, around the soul. Do you all remember her saying that?
I do, yeah.
Yes.
Alright. Which means that the soul inhabiting, that we believe inhabited that mechanical entity, was the one dictating what the shape of the body looked like. However, the small detail that I feel like most of us have perhaps overlooked is that the soul, it was we believe to be the soul, that wisp fled the body the moment it was placed inside of the storage room then. And it had to be contained within a compass box. Meaning, when that strange mechanical device attempted to burrow into me, it did not have a soul driving it that we were aware of. So it was acting on its own instinct, trying to burrow into my skin and trying. It felt like it was trying to pull my soul or my magic out. I can't be specific. And I honestly, the more I think about it on that subject in particular, the more uncomfortable I feel. But you get the general idea. What if we were able to take that aspect of it, build something around it? My thought being, all right, if it is instead fueled by a soul and connected to its creator or a bound individual, let's say myself, it is only active if I wear, for instance, similar to the current pylon, a slave ring or a paired ring, essentially something that actually connects it to me and I to it. It can only be activated when there is someone actually controlling it. However, then it can be placed within raw materials such as a large quantity of, in that box that you are currently pressed up against Arkansas, there is a large amount of crystal in there that I have been carving into pylon rods, if you will. What if it is placed in a chunk of crystal and is able to form based on my desires I impose upon it? A crystal around itself, and it serves as the internal heart. The reason I say this is because that thing seems to have its own infinite power source, a way to gather energy on its own. I mean, it housed a soul and then continued to function afterwards. Whatever enchantment or mechanism they're using to use this fuel source or to use this fuel for this, has seemingly no limits. And my largest problem with these is having a limitation to its output. It also would mean I do not have to be directly physically bound to the pylon to take any sort of physical punishment or increase physical punishment to myself to make it work harder. I can simply express my will to it, sort of like a vein-forged weapon.
That's very interesting. Do you think you can accomplish this? Or is this all speculative?
I mean, the largest, there are several hurdles here, right? The first one being, I have no fucking idea how the thing actually works. I don't know how it ticks. I don't know the specifics of the enchantments used. So it's theoretical, but the idea is that if we are able to understand the fundamentals, we could be able to replicate it. And not only could we replicate it for one thing, if we allow it to be multi-purpose and be able to make things on a user's willpower, or their expressed will, imagine if we are able to create vast arcane networks based off of these strange cores, if you will. If we're able to make more complex structures using these by essentially influencing our will upon it and giving it raw material.
My only concern would be what is going to power these cores.
Well, we'd have to figure out what it is, and if it is something that we don't like, then we have to find a replacement for it. But I feel like, as a starting point for the pylon, this is a good jumping off point, but the problem is that we'd have to investigate it.
Yes, well, the current plan was that Phoenix was going to find someone who could safely traverse the Gen Magic zone and take it there to see what it does.
I was thinking about that. If Ascalon could make his pylon stronger, if we can't get somebody to go into that null zone, what if we just tried opening it or setting it in the bottle inside the null zone and see what it does? Or inside his pylon zone and see what it does?
That is also possible.
I mean, the problem I don't.
So if the
My only
pylon
issue with
doesn't nullify it, it absorbs the magic. Is that, am I understanding that right?
If I tell it to. It primarily dispels if it cannot. If I choose to not let it absorb, that is a direct influence that I have over it.
That seems to me like something perhaps a little more controlled, which is what we might want.
But if we destroy it and then it is inert, I will never know what exactly enchantments are used to make it.
Mm.
The problem is feeding it any kind of magic is what activates it.
Mm-hmm.
Even when it was not activated, they tried to eat through your glove.
Which is why I was going to make a recommendation that we try to approach Zarin with this. Not that I do not believe that you are not our most renowned and capable mage, Arkansas. But he seems very familiar with handling of things that often feel a bit out of our depth. Or at least we'll have a book somewhere that may be able to aid us in this. He has expressed a great deal of interest in my assisting or insisting me with ideas, or at least conversations regarding manners to resolve our stress issue. I imagine if we approach him with a more solid and more direct inquiries about our desire for this, especially because I would be willing to share research with him if he helps actually uncover the truth behind it all. It may be beneficial to both him and us.
Well, I did initially ask him if he knew anything about artificing or knew anyone who was an artificer. And I gave a very brief explanation of what it was. When we were speaking about possibly feeding it to Mimi. And he said that he did not wish to bring anything into the tower that might affect the current precarious balance of what is locked away and these beyonders.
We're
don't
about
necessarily have
to
to bring it within the tower for him to look at it and assist us.
No, but
Also,
if we would have to, we're helping Finish take care of that on Monday. So
additionally, there is. I'm less concerned at the immediate about the artifice portion. I assume once it is made inert and no longer a threat, I can take it to an artificer and have that portion of it fully examined. My main concern and main problem, as to say, a humble runesmith, is that I have no way to actively and extensively research whatever extra magical components are made out of it. My specialty is runes and rune magic, and all of the properties that come along with it, which, do not get me wrong, is very versatile, but I'm not a specialist at dismantling enchantments and understanding how they work and how they're linking together. So I think if we involve him, I think for safety reasons, I think if he's willing to aid us with it, it would be a additional layer of safety. Because again, as much as I hate to remind you, your ladyship, I'm not a mage, I'm a runesmith. I'm not capable of making sigils in the air and sending great amounts of power through my blood to influence the world around me. I carve things to make things happen. So if suddenly, great magical energy tries to lash out, I'm not really any use, unless it's something I can actually smash with a hammer.
Fair enough. The idea has merit. I have no problem with reaching out to Zarin. I'd asked him once, and he seemed reticent to get involved, so I did not wish to push it further.
I think because if we try to pose it as we are trying to bring it into the tower, that would be our main problem. I don't think we should pose it as trying to bring it into the tower. I think we need to pose it as an issue that needs to be researched regardless of location. And if a auxiliary location is to be established for research purposes, we can try to work something out.
All right then. If you wish to reach out to him, by all means do so.
Alright, well then, if we're going to go visit the Tideborn, I'm going to get armor on. As Eris said, I guess we're not allowed to go without armor.
She did say
We
that.
still need to find Stella and Valen.
Have you tried their bed?
Don't make it a habit to knock on people's bedroom doors.
Or the kitchen, specifically the two places there.
Through the kitchen, I did not see them.
Is that my cat howling, or is that...
Every day we have new cats.
Wish we didn't.
Yes, we know. Cats are inferior. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They are. To both dogs and goats.
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 I know that you did express a fondness for goat milk last night. I didn't realize that your admiration for the creature extended beyond milk.
My people, when we are in our specific homeland, ride large mountain goat.
Aren't your people extraordinarily large?
Yeah. Our mountain goats are the size of Yardvale. So, towering above you, unfortunately, your ladyship.
You say goat, and I think goat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, these are mountain goats. Everything in the mountain is bigger and often better.
Subjective.
What was that?
I said that is subjective.
Well, subjectively speaking, it's true.
That's like your opinion, man.
Well, it's the right one, so I don't know.
Of course it is.
Yep.
Alright, armor.
A moment.
Oh, they're naked!
Forgive
Good
me.
evening, my lady.
We are going to go see if the Tideborn are at their keep. As whatever it is they have to tell us is so urgent, they've sent 3 letters and a notice on our board out front. We are just wondering
Oh.
if you would accompany us, considering everything that was a prize that happened the night before. It might be better to travel in a larger group.
Eris might have forgotten. They visited us very late last night. I believe if she did not put it on board, she might have forgotten. I think they mentioned something about... I was somewhat falling asleep. They said something about a place called the Black Keep and something behind it, and that it pertained to us, or that we would want to go see it.
Oh. Alright, so they've already been and discussed whatever it is they wanted to share.
Yes. It could have been that due to, well, everything that happened yesterday and how exhausted she was, Eris might have forgotten to put it upon board. I don't truly recall the entire conversation. I simply recall them saying something about something behind a place called the Black Keep.
Interesting. Alright, well then I'll go tell Ascalon and Phoenix they do not need to go change into their armor.
Of course. I believe everything else was on the board, at least
Yes,
all of our scuffles from last night.
Yes, I read all the updates. I also looked at that scroll that was on the table. It was a map. It marks this keep in some place in H2.
I believe that man called Grim mentioned that that's where he found a camp. He did not know of what. He called them undead, but he had a helmet of the Ras Calith scouts on him and showed it to us, so probably a Ras Calith camp.
He seems very adamant that those sands are his and he wants to deal with it. We told him.
He's butting himself into business he does not understand.
That's what we told him. We will deal with it. We don't need his help with it.
Well, forgive my interruption then. I guess we do not need to leave. I will leave it to your morning, evening.
That's quite alright. I was on my way to make breakfast anyways. I'm very hungry.
Apparently the Tideborn already came by very, very late or early this morning.
Oh.
Shared their
Yes. Something about behind the Black Keep. I didn't really catch much of their
And
conversation.
you want to know when they arrived? Not too long after we all went to bed.
Oh, of course. Of course they did. Thank
Yes,
you.
I think we had just well, your friend Rebecca had just left,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe 10 minutes later they showed up.
Of course.
very late or early this morning. Shared their information with Eris and Stella. Something about a place called the Black Keep. And something behind it or near it that would be of interest to us. there's a whole hog here? Or Asplon?
Ooh, that is nice though.
You- Oswald left you an entire ham.
Alright. So I'm just gonna work the